Alright, so in this video, we're going to build a place to sleep. We're going to finally reorganize the inside of our building a little bit, get some storage areas built, or at least some outlines for them built, and move on from there. So, while we're doing that, we have the boars out here. They finally finished taming, and we're going to see if they start to breed. So for them to breed, they need to eat some food. So I toss 2 stacks of 6 in here so they have eaten. And they do have to be within a relatively close proximity to one another, so my pen might be a little bit too big for this to happen too efficiently, at least with only 2 boars to start, but we will see what happens as we build. So, I have 100 wood in my inventory, and we've used about 150, maybe 200 wood for the whole thing all together, because some wood was recovered from our prefab. So, I like building a little platform for my bed to be on. It just gives some nice dimension, and it lets us hide some chests under the floorboard. So this little area will be where my bed's gonna go. I have to have a way up, so let's do that. So we have a little elevated platform here. It's all in fire. Notice though, if you get too close to an open window like this, you won't be in shelter. So we will have to kind of decide what to do there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here and make a continuous wall of these X pieces. All the way up to where I need one on the roof still. Because if you have the, if you have these X pieces close enough together, it'll actually count as a wall. So I have to get aimed right to get rid of that. And that bottom I'm going to leave because I can't really get a piece to fit on the bottom there. You could run a vertical beam up along the sides too to clean that up some, which I'm going to do. And then, let's see, I will want that one filled in at the bottom there. And for lights, let's go ahead and get rid of that. We'll put a small piece there, get rid of that. And then put these little half pieces back. So now that whole area should be counted as shelter, right? Yeah, and I can put my bed up here wherever I want it. Let's throw the furniture down. Probably like this. Head to the inside there. Right, so that's just a basic little area for a bed. Probably put a railing up eventually now. One thing you can do down here underneath this is make some area for storage. So I'll probably keep this pathway around. I do like to be able to move a little bit free in the base here. But what I mean about making some area for storage, using these little pieces, you can kind of create these little cubby holes, and chests can be slid right down into those cubby holes. And if you run that on all sides with these pieces, you basically make a little storage space underneath where your bed is. Now over here we'll use a crafting station. So I say crafting station for food at least. So I'm gonna put some of these down. Now the way I do the runners along the side of this kind of restricts where these go. I always want to have like 4 of these out, just helps making cooked meat faster, and eventually you'll get another item to use to cook with, so you'll have the second fire there. So I had 100 pieces of wood. The chests take up a good bit, but I've used all 100 pieces of wood on the wall and on the place to sleep. So I'm going to grab some more wood, just so I have it. So we're at about 300 pieces of wood total. No piglets going yet. And maybe they won't breed quickly at all. Now there's a lot of stuff on the outside of this house that isn't finished, like we just have the inside livable. But what we want to do now is move everything around. Once you get rid of the crafting station, you will have to rebuild it. So I'm going to put this here, a little bit off center, because I have some ideas for things I want to do. Now, those ideas go back to what I was talking about on the other side. We want to get this little floor runner in. Alright, the little screaming pig sound you just heard, that was our first baby pig being made. So that is taking off. Basically, I'm trying to build the crafting station into a bit of a work table here, because I think that looks cool. Let's get us some boxes down. I'm not going to place all the boxes just yet, just kind of get a feel for the idea here. So you can make like a little table next to your workbench. I think it looks good, so I do like to do it. And if we get lucky here, we can get this to clip in right. If not, you can just use a smaller one and then go to the back and get it to clip in. So either way. But now we have a workbench. This workbench is only level 1 because it's too far away from our woodcutter out here, I think. So we heard the piggy scream, so they should have made a baby. Yep, there it is. Little piggy. There's our little guy out here. We can get rid of that. We can rebuild it. Now you can build this inside, you can build it outside, but since I'm trying to build everything together, I like the idea of building some like of these upgrades over here to the side to kind of make it look cool. Now, since you built this little level up right here, you could also put this up kind of on the shelf. But this is a hatchet and wood, right? So, like if we're going to be cutting stuff apart for the workbench, I want it pretty close, pretty handy. And that's just an idea. So you got some basic idea for storage. You can make this go higher, you can make it go smaller. It's up to you. Personally, another thing I like doing, just to kind of give us some more character, is I like having a little running shelf to the side here. Eventually you could put some stuff on top of it. It adds to some of the look of the building. And you can also put storage crates underneath this as well. So with the angle of the roof, yeah, sure, there's not much to do there, but it gives some dimension. But if you're going to put a crate underneath there, you can just do it long ways. The only downside to this is you basically only fit one per square. But it is still a little bit extra storage, so like, I did this for a while before doing it the other way. They don't fit exactly, but you'll want some storage space when you're cooking. Like all your cookable items you want to be able to reach from your cooking station. All the stuff you need for crafting you want to have access to near your crafting station. There are other types of boxes and stuff you'll get eventually, which you could put up on the sides here. Now this is more of like a good semi-permanent to permanent build because you're looking at everything you need for a while. There is another upgrade. Eventually you'll get a forge, and there is not necessarily space for a forge inside this building. So having this wall that you can tear out to add the forge might be an idea as well. For example, if none of this is here, you can always tear out these two spaces and make an entryway to a different size room on the other side. That way you could build your forge in that space. Because, I mean, there's a lot of expansion needed. And that'll kind of finish up these tutorials for now, kind of giving just some ideas of how to build, light decorating ideas, everything you could do before you really beat the first boss. So, ultimately, really before you beat the second boss too, you don't gain access to too much more stuff, you just get some fine with it. But, either way, looking out here at these pigs, over time, this piggy will grow into a full-size pig. And I think once you get it's like 6 or 7 pigs within a certain area, they'll stop breeding altogether. You can build what's called a breeder to take care of that. But that'll be something to do much later in the game. Not quite yet. So this board over here looks not just a regular board. Just curious. Not quite strong enough. Alright, well, that'll be it for this first video. So you have a house that looks pretty good, not completed, but it's getting there, it's livable, it's functionable. Some ideas for how to kind of build yourself some space inside of here. And we'll call that quits for this one.